What's going on, guys? It's your boy H-Dog, and I'm back here with another video. And recently Jason Schreier made some interesting comments about microtransactions in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. He took to Twitter saying he spent 25 hours in the game so far, saying it's phenomenal and never felt pushed into buying microtransactions. He could have ended it there, but he went in further, saying how sad it is for YouTube to facilitate this culture of people tossing words around like exploitative and predatory when concerning microtransactions. At the same time, basically taking shots at
everyone
who has been taking stands against the practice. No matter if you're big like Jim Sterling, Young Yeah, or smaller YouTubers like myself, this concerns all of us who have taken a stand against this practice. He does admit they can be annoying, but not the worst form of microtransaction practice we've seen. He proceeded to show screenshots of trolls from comment sections hurling disgusting insults at him. He uses them as to think if they represent the entire YouTube community. And really, that don't represent everyone. We all know that there's nasty trolls on the internet. And word on the street, he isn't really that fond of YouTubers that much. He then tried to say that YouTubers don't know what they're talking about when it comes to microtransactions. And then, on top of that, some new information that came out today from his Twitter. He went in again with 3 more tweets. First one that said 2 things. One, for saying that Assassin's Creed Odyssey's microtransactions are easy to ignore and that YouTube has facilitated a climate of rage and hyperbole. I've received hundreds of personal insults and nasty messages. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand like you can disagree with Jason Schreier, and he did, basically come at everybody for that. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't get in debt. There's no crazy shit like that. 2, microtransactions are a complicated topic. Most things are. It's my job as a reporter to ask questions, to give you my honest thoughts, and to explore the nuances of issues like this. If you just want to hear about how evil they are, feel free to go elsewhere. Now, I mean, you can just pretty much call them out, and not necessarily call them evil or the worst practice. I mean, I think he may have, watched too many videos, that did call every one of them evil and everything, because there are games that have microtransactions that are easy to ignore and you can just overlook them. And lastly, he said, one more thing. The question of whether the existence of microtransactions by nature makes a game worse, even when they're easy to ignore, is one I find really interesting, and the answer is probably yes. We'll talk a bunch about this on this week's Split Screen podcast. I mean, really, I think he should just go ahead and drop it, because just go ahead and let it go, because people probably are already very angry with you, Mr. Jason, and we understand that game development costs have increased thanks to advances in graphical technologies, but for a company like Ubi, who I've been a fan of recently, to put them in the game is utterly ridiculous. They're pointless to have because of all the loot you can earn in that game. Now, I kind of understand both sides of this argument. For microtransactions, to an extent, for companies like Ubisoft or EA, they don't need them in their games. I understand that some companies need to make back whatever they put in. Like if you have a $25 million budget for a big movie, wouldn't you expect to try to find a way to make back what you put in, type of thing? But shout out to my boy Essential for putting me on some game about this. But at the same time, I cannot stand excuses for them. Like, guys, it's an option. It's perfect for people who don't have time. But the thing is, why would you buy a game that's time demanding? No matter if it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Origins, or Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is even a time demanding game. And as for me, I've spent a little bit of time with Odyssey, and I can confirm if you are just one level under enemies, they can body you. if you're surrounded by them at least. The best advice I can give, if it's just one enemy at a time, you can take them on, no problem. But if it's more than one, I say fall back into wait till you're at their level. I think they did this just to make the game more difficult and more of a challenge, and not to push you into buying microtransactions, depending on your playstyle. If you're the type to just want to do story content first, then side stuff later, the game can, kind of elbow you, give you a wink and a nudge to try to, go do that side mission right there. Go raid that bandit camp. Like, it may try to, nudge you into doing stuff that you may not want to do. Even if the game didn't have microtransactions, I think people would still find the game as too difficult and say, oh my god, the game is too hard. It's just like Dark Souls but in Greece. And of course my boy Aldous would say, just get good. But if you're someone like me and want to do side content first, then you would love this game. My thoughts are subject to change by the end of the game. I do plan on beating the game twice though. But anyway, back on topic. I'm neutral on this front simply because of my understanding of both sides of the argument. At the end of the day, we gotta sit and think, how long have microtransactions existed? It didn't just start out of nowhere this gen. They've been around since sometime last gen. They've existed for this long. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to exist regardless if we protest or not. It's really all about people's tolerance in the games, and not that a game is just guilty for having them. If it doesn't affect mine or your experience, then it's not a problem. Even though I can't speak for everyone, regardless if a game has microtransactions in them or not, and no matter how much I don't want them in my games, if I'm sold, I'm sold. I'ma still get the game. And here's another thing. Let's say the argument made that they exist because to earn back the money they put in. Alright, let's say if the full price of standard editions of games rise and we do see microtransactions cease to exist, then the people on that side of the fence are right. But if it continues, then we all know who to point the fingers at. Same thing if microtransactions get banned by either the ESRB or by governments. If nothing happens there and there isn't some sort of game industry crash, then it's cool, it's fine, no problem. But if it does, then we know who we can point the fingers at. We can definitely get the hashtag blame Alex going if it does happen. Microtransactions like in Metal Gear Survive crosses the line. We gotta stop and realize where microtransactions originated from: sports games. And last I've checked, sports games continues to make companies like EA and 2K a lots of money, simply because of the casual gamer, not like the gamer that, not like the gamer you and I, not like us. No matter how much we protest, as long as sports games make money, microtransactions could always exist. As far as Jason Schreier goes, he shouldn't have said what he said. He should have just said what he thinks of the game instead of attacking YouTubers or wanting people to have the same opinion as him. I respect Jason a lot, but at the same time, I don't condone this. And with that being said, guys, I want to know, what are your thoughts on Jason Schreier's comments about microtransactions? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to my channel. I do game reviews, I do discussion videos like this, and I also talk about gaming news as well. And boy, I'm going on almost 9 minutes. I haven't done one like this in a while. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.